Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
It's the FantasyGreek.com's NFL Power Hour, the August 24th edition, heading into preseason week number 3. If you are still scouting for your fantasy draft, this is the week you are all ears. And joining me as usual in this enterprise is Jim Sarantias, the Fantasy Greek himself from thefantasygreek.com and also from thefantasygreek.com. Sammy Bissett, gentlemen, how are we doing tonight? Yeah, I had my big dynasty draft over the weekend. Whew, a lot of pressure on that one. Let me just tell you. Well, that's where I was leaning, but, you know, I just wanted to bounce it off some of the experts there. But being the two-time defending champ, whew, now, going for the three-peat, you know, my softball team had a better term than three-peat. We're three-balling. So that's what I think I'm going to use here. But picking 12th, well, except for the first round because I made a trade for the first overall pick, but picking 12th in every other round in a non-snake linear draft, I came away with Ezekiel Elliott, Matt Jones, Devin Funchess, Laquan Treadwell, Marcus Wheaton, Mohamed Sanu, and the Bears defense, and Robbie Gould. It's a keep 7 draft 8 league. I'll take that. Oh, come on. That's no fun for me. All right, so as is every year, there's always things that are happening that didn't happen last year and probably won't happen next year. What are the trends, Jim, that you are seeing in players being drafted that if people are listening tonight, oh, by the way, if you have any questions, comments about your specific lineup, you can call 585-633-7487 or tweet at the hashtag AskTFG. The phone number again, 585-633-7487. So, Jim, what are some of the trends that are happening that players, people that haven't drafted yet, they need to be aware of? Sammy, what do you think? Well, I mean, like, you're talking about the emphasis being put on wide receiver, but I guess it's all kind of, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, subjective to your individual draft. I mean, how many guys are really worth a top 5 pick? I can think of only 3: Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham Jr., and Julio Jones. After that, I think you're okay with waiting. No, I mean, am I crazy? All right, so I guess you may have answered my next question. If there's one thing you must do to prepare for your draft, what is it? Yeah, I mean, you also, depending on, you got to kind of understand the strength of the other owners in your league, too, when you're trying to mock this draft, because it might totally change how the draft board plays to you. But And kind of a backside thing. Oh, good point. Oh, good point. Valid point. So, when should you draft like the Cam Newtons or the Aaron Rodgers, the presumptive number 1 or 2 QBs? Jim, you said the 5th or 6th round. Is that a little late for those guys? Sammy, any thoughts on it? Looking at Fantasy Football Calculator, Cam and Aaron are going on average with the 3rd overall pick, and then Andrew Luck with the 4th. That's a little bit of a reach. in my opinion. But Sammy, my understanding is you have to go. You have to run. All right. We have another caller on the line due to the absence of a call screener here. The 603 area code. Who we got with us? Eric Guilford. How you doing? That was the worst New England accent I have ever heard in my entire life. That was awful. All right. Derek, Derek, let me ask you a somewhat personal question here. How many leagues are you in right now currently? Where's the, was there anything in last week, the draft you already had, is there anything that happened during that you were just kind of like, oh, holy crap, I wasn't ready for this? Oh, wow. Wow. Was there anybody you were trying to avoid drafting? Like you didn't care if he was the best player available when you came up. You're like, no way, I don't want any part of that. Jim, what are your thoughts on that? The part about players to avoid. Sammy's. Oh no, you're fine. Emmanuel Sanders was available in my dynasty draft, and I was so glad when somebody took him so that I wouldn't be tempted. Right. Sammy, anybody your hands off on? All right, we have another guest on the line. The area code 724. Who is this? Hey, how we doing? Who are you trying to avoid in drafts? All right. Is there any? Have you drafted any of your leagues yet? Have you drafted any of your leagues that you play in right now? Or is there any trends or any like kind of like runs that you saw in your draft that you were just like, holy crap, I'm not prepared for this? Yeah, everyone's trying to find that sleeper, right? Who's a sleeper or a super sleeper that you're sure that no one's counting on that's going to break out this year? I heard Ricky Prohl has gone on the record as the Carolina wide receiver coach is saying Funchess could be pushing Benjamin for the number 1 slot. So. Yeah, so that might be a guy that's currently on nobody's radar because he didn't really impress last year at all. Jim, who's your sleeper? Well, it's not like he's completely devoid of talent now that Calvin Johnson's gone. You know what I mean? Okay. Derek, who's your sleeper? All right, another guest on the show from the 501 area code. Identify yourself. Hey, what's happening? So, who's your sleeper if it hasn't already been said? Oh. Absolutely. Can I ask you all your opinion? Gary Barnidge right now is being drafted according to Fantasy Football Calculator as a tight end, obviously, ahead of Julius Thomas, Antonio Gates, Jimmy Graham, and Zach Ertz. Is there a reason to believe in Cleveland's offense that much? I mean, like, I'm looking at this, like it's like blowing my mind, just trying to wrap my brain around this. Antonio Gates and Julius Thomas. Yeah, it's like something's happened because according to this graph I'm looking at the website, Barnage's draft stock has raised a whole round in the last week. So obviously people are getting some kind of itchy trigger finger, and I don't know, maybe it was the long bomb RG3 threw last week to what's his name from Ohio State, the rookie there, Braxton Miller, was it? Maybe that's giving him hope that Cleveland's going to have some kind of passing offense, but I just don't believe it right now. John, how many leagues do you play in? A lot. Oh my lord! How do you keep that all straight? So how many of them have you drafted? 35 so far? Oh my lord! Is there anything? Is there anything that's happened where that you saw happening in these drafts where you're like, wow, this is new this year? No, Rick is gone. That was it? That's all you got? Oh, sure. Put all the pressure on me, jerk face. Yeah, Derek, when did you guys... Now, if I remember correctly, you said you got Brady in the 6th round of your draft? Oh. Oh, okay. So is that usually where you were looking to draft a quarterback, or did the run on quarterbacks not happen, so you kind of waited on that? All right, John. What about you with quarterbacks? Is there a quarterback that currently is middle of the road in your eyes that possibly by the end of the season could be a top 5 quarterback? Right. Well, looking at, okay, right. What about a cat like? I'm sorry. Go ahead. What about a cat like Phillip Rivers, who's currently going in the 9th round? With Wisenhunt back this year, if he gets a healthy Keenan Allen for an entire season. Yep. Hey. Yeah, all right. Right. Derek, what's your thoughts on a middle of the road quarterback that you might take a flyer on, and by the end of the season, you're like, wow, I won my league because of that guy. Yeah, I'm not buying the Tyrod Taylor because Buffalo just didn't do a whole hell of a lot to cement or to take the step forward with their offense. And I just think there's going to be no team that wants to run the ball as much as the Buffalo Bills. Ha! Okay. We got about 8.5 minutes left. We've talked about every other position in the past couple weeks. And we kind of already talked a little bit about the tight end position with the Gary Barnidge situation. But outside of Gronkowski, is there any tight ends, and Jim, I'll start with you, is there any other tight ends that if you're in a league whose format doesn't mandate a tight end, is there any other tight ends where you got to have this guy? Hey, Derek, what are your thoughts? From being from New England, you're the guy to ask about this. So when people see Martellus Bennett, a second athletic tight end in New England, they immediately think Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez without the murder. So I did. He's convicted. I can say it. So what do you think? In your opinion, are we going to see that kind of offense this year in New England? John, who's your tight ends that you're after? Interesting take. Very interesting take. Well, and with that, we are out of time here on the Fantasy Greeks NFL Power Hour, the August 24th, 2016 edition. For Jim Sarantias, the Fantasy Greek himself, and John Bush, Derek Guilford, Rick Briggs, and Sammy Bissett. Did I miss it? I got everybody, didn't I? I did. Have a great week. Good luck in your drafts, and may the odds be forever in your favor.